Thank you very much. A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, representative from UNESCO, honorable guests. May I take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you again to the webinar policy brief on partnership and cooperation enhancement in water management in Asia Pacific. I'll be within this short period of time. I think my presentation will be briefing and will be giving more focus on the structure and governance of SDG 6 in Malaysia, and a slightly information and brief information about PPP, which is public-private partnership. And just to inform each and every one of you that on behalf of Malaysia, we are privileged and honored to be invited in this webinar and to share our Malaysian story and the status of SDG 6. And perhaps we could also learn from Thailand and Indonesia and the rest of the UNESCO's team. All right. First of all, basically after the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, we realized that the need to have a concerted effort on achieving national target on SDG is very much important. So with that, we have actually established in 2022, Malaysia has established National SDG Council with the objective of to be a push factor to accelerate SDG, and at the same time to make sure that each and every SDG is being achieved. So we have actually used the clustering model. As you can see in the slides, there are 5 cluster models, which is 1, inclusivity, well-being and economic growth community, which is chaired by EPU, which is Economic Planning Unit. Now we call it Ministry of Economy. We also have Sustainable Financing Committee, which is chaired by Ministry of Finance. This is where PPP comes into play, and which play a very critical role in establishing and making sure that the PPP and the water management industry is being included in the PPP project. Another part of clustering model is Human Capital Committee, which is chaired by Ministry of Education, and Environmental and Natural Resources Committee, which is CASA, and Local Government Community, which is led by Ministry of Local Government. So this National SDG Council is being chaired by our Prime Minister, with the SDG Stream Committee and SDG Technical Committee as an umbrella to this governance structure. These are all to show to audience and to the participant that the PPP, which comes into play into the private sector committee and civil society organization CSO committee, to make sure that each and every SDG is being put into consideration, while not just focusing into water, but they are also focusing into each and every SDG. So private PPP, which is public-private partnership, when we talk about water management industry, we will have a few agencies and department which is related to Ministry of Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change, which I will name a few. We have IWK in Malaysia, which we call it Indah Water Consortium, which is National Sewerage Company. We also have National Water Service Commission to look into the regulatory of water industry. We also have Department of Environment, though we are talking about water, but environment is part of the environment and water per se. And we also have Sewerage Services Department to look into the sewerage system as the body of regulatory. We also have Department of Irrigation and Drainage. And lastly, we also have a Water Asset Management Company, which is wholly owned by Ministry of Finance. And these are all the agencies and related departments that, when we talk about PPP, these are the related agencies and ministries that is focusing into the water management industry. And as you can see in the slides, every committee is represented by the ministries, agencies, states, UN agencies, private sectors, academicians, and the rest of the public entities. All right. Why SDG water asset management, or probably SDG 6, is being clustered under environment and natural resources? Reason is, when you talk about water industry and when you talk about water and sanitation, you cannot run away from talking about the climate actions, talking about life below water, life on land, and affordable and clean energy, together with a responsible consumption and production, because they are interrelated in a sense of, when you talk about water, you also talk about climate change, you also talk about environment, and you also talk about what is actually included in the water industry. So this is the reason why we are clustering the water and sanitation SDG into environment and natural resources. All right, these are the Rule 6 target, which is, I think you can actually refer to UN 6 targets, which also refer to the target 6.1 until 6.6.b. They are talking about the most important thing is the safe and affordable drinking water, and open defecation and provide access to sanitation and hygiene, and improve master quality water waste treatment and safe reuse, increase water use efficiency and ensure fresh water supplies, to implement integrated water resource management, IWRM, and to protect and restore water-related ecosystem. This is the reason why, one of the reasons why we are clustering water and sanitation part into the natural environment and natural resource cluster, and expand water and sanitation supports to develop countries, and lastly, to support local engagement in water and sanitation management. So with these 6 goal targets, PPP plays a very important role to make sure that these targets are achieved. And as for now, we are actually the spillover effects, the spillover international index on SDG 6 on water and sanitation is approximately 79.2%. And in order overall performance on SDG 6 and the rest of the SDG in Malaysia, the country score is about 70.4%, and we are ranked on the number 72 out of 163 countries. In looking into SG6 on clean water and sanitation. So just to inform that on the webinar description, when you talk about a major factor is being able to achieve SDG 6 will be the capacity of the world's organization and research institution, both within and outside the water company, to come together in partnership and cooperation to accelerate the progress. On Malaysia's side, we also like to reiterate and highlight that the commitment on the PPP project, the commitment and understanding from all key players in water industry is very much important to play their roles and expediting the progress of SDG 6. And another thing is, we need to also inculcate and create the awareness to the public, because when the government, it is not just one concerted effort. It's just not one key player. It must come from each and every one of us, as to make sure that the water is sustainable, plus the environment is also sustainable. And I think by providing the water for all in a sustainable manner, that would also resonate with our theme of SDG 6, which is water is life. And I think with that, thank you very much.